Hey everyone, today is July 19th, 2024. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And you're hanging with Uncle.
How's it going, man?
You know, I'm doing well, man. It's been an interesting week.
Been a weird one.
I can tell you this, there are times when I just have to check out.
Yep.
And so I played more on the PlayStation than I ever have just
Nice.
to avoid the stupid shit going on out there in the world, man.
You know, I actually had to go relieve stress, too. I had to go hit some balls this week. I went and bought $5 worth of balls and just blasted them. And the swing's fine.
Yeah.
Rotation's getting a little bit slow in the middle, but gotta back that up with power. But hopefully everybody else is having a wonderful rest of their day today.
Pay yourself.
Yes, absolutely. I don't get to today. Mine's next week. And then it goes right into rent. How fun is that? Also, make sure you manage your ACs because holy crap, it's hot, but also those bills are insane, aren't they?
Yeah, it's 111 right now here.
Brittany says hello.
Hi, Britt.
And hi, babe. I'm tired. That's the other thing I was going to say. I am tired. I'm exhausted. So if I lose track, I might Joe Biden a little bit. I'm sorry. Did it dink? Sorry, I had to. Anyways. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
First things first, take care of yourself out there. Drink some water. Stay hydrated, definitely. Heat is no joke. Yes. But also manage your ACs the best you possibly can because holy crap. It's hot, man.
Yeah.
It is hot.
There's nothing to play with, that's for sure.
Now, we have a few things to talk about today. One is we, here on the show, are really good at actively criticizing things that we feel needs criticism. And especially something that doesn't hit even my standard, which I'm going to be honest, isn't like low, but it's like C grade. Come on now. But Secret Service.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about them today. They did not do well when it came to the defense of ex-president Donald Trump.
Right.
Especially with the details that have surfaced since the shooting, which happened, about a few days ago?
About a week ago.
About a week ago?
Yeah.
About a week ago. But the idea is that you're supposed to protect the president is the ideal of the Secret Service. And the fact that the kid was able to get a rangefinder out, 140 meters? Within 140 meters of an ex-president? It was insane to me. It is still insane to me.
So I have a lot of questions. I mean, technology today is different than when I was in law enforcement. Now you have cell phones that have cameras, and for 20 minutes you had people recording the shooter.
Exactly.
Like pointing it out to law enforcement, and nobody is doing anything.
Nothing.
So either it was supposed to happen that way, or somebody was very incompetent on their job that day.
I didn't say it.
I'm just, just possibilities.
I didn't say that, but he's not wrong. That leaves a lot of open what ifs out there, not only for us as viewers of what was going on, Americans, but also like everybody that should be involved within the world aspect. One, the Secret Service did not protect the president the way they need to. And I'm going to show an example or do a little story here. When I went to Disneyland, it was when he was running. Barack Obama was at Disneyland when I was there. Geeking, right? But also, I was getting ready to get on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and it was showing up on my phone. I'm like, that's cool and all, whatever. And this guy in a suit comes by, and asked me to put my phone away. I was like, okay, sure. I was like, yeah. And then I did ask him to shake hands and whatever, but we got to. It was cool. But cool experience because I then found out later that Barack Obama was then going to ride Pirates of the Caribbean the same time I was going to. But then they made sure everybody got off the ride first and made sure everybody was clear and everything within the ride was clear before he even entered the building to ride the ride. I didn't get to even see him, and I was in the front of the line. So they flopped big time in comparison to how safe they kept him, Barack Obama, at Disneyland versus how safe they should have kept ex-President Trump and ex-President Barack Obama. Sorry, keep it fair and square there. And they failed miserably, right? Again,
Yeah.
the kid got a rangefinder out within 140 meters of the president. And it was reported to police 20 minutes beforehand as well.
So I have another comparison to make with President Obama.
Okay.
And I was in Denver in '08 at the same time that the convention, the Democrats were having their convention at Invesco Field where the Broncos play.
Okay.
Unfortunately for me, that's when my mom was in the hospital and never came out. You know, so I wish it was under better circumstances. But I remember the freeway was under watch, and sure enough, they made an arrest of 2 guys with the weaponry capability of having a direct line of sight at then presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, Barack Obama. That's when he was going to accept the nomination. And, you know, the Secret Service was all over that, which brings me to a point because when I was a cop in Compton, I actually got to work with the Secret Service when Jesse Jackson was running for president back in the 80s.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You know, it was an experience, so I got to see firsthand how they worked versus what didn't happen last week in Butler,
didn't
Pennsylvania.
work or show up. They showed up when they needed to. That's what it is. They're one of those employees that show up when they need to rather than doing what they actively need to.
You know, it was planned. It was orchestrated. It was coordinated.
You think
because,
so?
Well, I mean, like I said, just my experience, it was. So we knew where Jesse was, where he was prepping. I'm not going to give away any secrets.
No.
Or where he was. Or,
It's known information. You can go find it on your own, too. Remember, we're not a news source here.
Right,
you know?
but, you know, we knew where he was. We knew the route he was taking. We knew Secret Service in the crowd, how to recognize them.
Yep.
And most importantly, there was a command center. There was somebody,
Like in a van.
you know, like I'm not going to say where,
Okay, gotcha. Nope.
but there was a command center, and everything flowed through there, and it was fluid. It was done professionally.
There was a fumble.
So, you know, last week, I can tell you, in my opinion, you know who's at fault because they're the ones pointing the finger. So when I hear the Secret Service saying, well, that was a responsibility of local law enforcement to have someone over there, you're passing the buck. No, that's your responsibility.
It really is.
Ultimately, the protection of an ex-president and his family is on you.
Like-
not...
Even, like I said, my Disneyland experience, even comparing it to that alone, they were that secure he was still running too. Like your same situation with you, he was still running. He wasn't president yet. And to have everybody clear the ride before to even have him ride on the ride, and they had Secret Service ride on the ride with him and other parts of the boats too. It was like, even in comparison to that, it's a huge fumble. Huge fumble to me.
Yeah.
Because 140 meters, really, I've heard from a few gun professionals that I watch on like YouTube that they can train somebody to shoot a dime in like an hour. Like,
You know, all right, so here's the thing, man. An AR-15 is not a sniper rifle.
no,
That's a weapon used. So when we used to train with those things,
it's a self-defense weapon.
you shoot
basically.
center mass.
Yeah, it's a self-defense weapon.
And so the head is not center mass. So this guy was not the right person to do the job. So again,
He was fired.
was he allowed to do this? What purpose does it serve to have him up there unaccounted for with the rangefinder
He has
and
kind of
nobody do anything?
What was the name of the guy who shot JFK?
They blamed it on Oswald.
Oswald. He has kind of like an Oswald background, doesn't he? A failure to do something that involves rifle shooting. He was a failure to be a Marine, wasn't he, at some point, or in the military or something like that?
I haven't paid a lot of attention to it because
The kid has a lot of similarities, Gene.
I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I've paid more attention to the JFK shooting. I've been to Dealey Plaza in Texas where it happened. Thanks, cuz, for taking me. Shout out to Keith.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And it's like as soon as you get there, you're like, oh, he was set up.
Your brain.
I'm like, he was set up. There's no way because it was like
It's
what you call a choke point. Yeah. He was going through and they knew the route. They knew when he was coming. The shooters were in place.
It's funny to see and hear. Not funny, no. It's not a funny moment, but it's interesting to look and see the active, like the video. Just listen to the sounds. Like I'm a very auditory person. I'm good at like sounds and differentiating and such. You can hear the lighter pops and then the heavier pops. It's strange to hear how, I mean, yes, they're trained to be responsive and be really fast, yes, but how fast they were able to react to it.
Yeah.
And getting 8 shots off with an AR-15
is pretty easy
within that time frame.
Yeah.
Especially when laying down and supported, right? If you think about it logically. So it's like, you even watch, there's a video of a sniper in the background, like, turning and getting ready. But, like, looking at it in different, again, no conspiracies here, but, like, watching that and just looking at his reaction, and necessarily he was already, like, kind of primed.
Yeah.
If they would have saw somebody on a roof laying flat like that, I would have shot him already. Like, if you would have saw him, which I heard in some report as well, that one agent did see him on the roof, and they still waited. So,
I mean, again, just from my experience, you can put a drone up there, take pictures of where the guy is, get the snipers that ultimately took him out to shoot before he takes a shot.
I'm going to be honest, and simple-minded man here, if I have a map, and I drew up the map of just like the area where a president's going to be, and I see that roof, I'm going to be like, I need guys up there as a vantage point rather than leaving that open.
So that's funny you mentioned that because when I worked at Camp Robinson, I went to training with the Secret Service, and there was a whole class on how they operate. And they show when Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated in Israel right before Netanyahu took office. And security was crappy. They pulled, like a Jack Ruby on him, just walked right up to him and started unloading in his chest.
Okay.
Versus when President Mubarak of Egypt, when his assassination attempt was going on, their Secret Service viewed the route, checked out every vulnerability, and was able to thwart the assassination attempt on the Egyptian president.
And no target and aiming towards anybody, but they had it looks like the worst squad for Secret Service to protect a president ever. Like, and footage shows, even her, not just targeting her because everybody is, but the one lady security didn't even know like when to have her gun ready or when not to. When they were arriving at the hospital, she had her gun out. Like, she's like, oh, maybe I should put it away. I don't know. Again, find it on your own, look into it. But I wanted to hop into a comment here from Debster. Hi, Debster. I've been to Dealey Plaza once before myself. She said, it's very interesting. I want to go. I need to see it.
Yes.
I need to go and look at it.
Yes.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
Firsthand. And I heard they have the spot too, marked.
There's X's on the road where he was hit, the times he was hit.
Jesus.
And with the direction he was going. So with the direction they were going, it's under a bridge, so there's just walls on either side. So you're literally just driving through a choke point, just a sitting duck. And they took him out. It was pre-planned. Jesus. And, having been there, there's no way you can tell me Oswald acted by himself.
That's so crazy.
Which is what I wanted to bring up about this guy.
Okay.
He's dead now. We'll never know anything because he'll never talk.
Nope.
It's the same situation.
Well, I'm not saying that I would prefer to have him be alive at the moment because he may have killed more people because there were innocent people that were hurt.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think just was just. It did what it needed to do. But his manifesto, like looking into what he's looked into and everything like that, and what's coming out about information about him, I mean, it matters to everybody. Republican, failed to make his rifle class in school, was one of the poorest shots ever.
Yeah.
Was kind of reclusive, but had small friends, small circle. But searched Joe Biden, Trump, the RNC and the DNC locations as well. He wanted to find out where those would be too. So I'm gonna be honest, it didn't even seem like how all the information is coming out from my brain, what I'm putting together. I think the kid wanted to just end the Biden versus Trump thing overall.
I think he had. I mean, just me, and I'm not a clinical psychiatrist or psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had something to prove.
Yeah,
I am good enough to shoot. Look what I did.
you think he had that kind of thing?
You know, it's just a theory.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that's really
all
all it is. But
yeah,
you can't. You have to theorize about it because again, like you said, kid's dead.
right. And that's the only thing we can do, and we'll never know.
Book depository, Dempster says.
So when I went there, the tree had grown up a lot, and it now kind of obstructs the view. But if you look back in 1963, that tree was just planted and stood only just like maybe 3 feet high. So, yeah. And why, not to go sidetrack, but if Oswald really acted alone, why did he wait for the car to turn when he had a clear shot as they were coming right before they turned on Dealey Plaza?
You know what? I love that stuff. That's one of my biggest. I'm not big on history, but that's one of the big ones there I love. And this is one of those things that I'm intrigued on because I want to try to figure it out. I wanted to be in forensics back in the day too, and it's just like that stuff really intrigues me.
I had to walk up on the grassy knoll and look over the fence and see the train yard on the other side.
Man,
it's just like when you go and look, you're just like,
at some point,
this shit was planned. This guy got away on this side on the train, knowing it was going to leave at this time. I mean, it screams that kind of proficiency.
Like somebody looked into it, not just him. Though.
Yeah.
I heard he wasn't, again, the brightest light bulb.
He said he was a patsy before Ruby shot him.
Yeah. Let's move on. We have another topic. Ready?
Sure.
We are very, I don't know, indifferent, I guess. No. Differently educated on this person. I just have an example of one video. You have a lot of information apparently.
Well, I'm not going to say a lot, but just maybe a little more.
But the new vice president candidate was picked for President or ex-President Trump, and that is his name again?
J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance. My first impression of him was a video asking me if I was racist and if I hated Mexicans. And then proceeded to talk about his campaign. But what else do you know about him, Gene?
I remember back in 2016, before he had a beard, he was anti-Trump. He's on record. You can look at videos of him saying this. I'm a never Trumper. I hate the guy. He's the worst thing that could ever happen to our country.
He compared him to Hitler at one point, didn't he?
Compared him to Hitler. And now look where he is.
He's going to be a vice presidential candidate.
So, to me, when I look at that, like, why did he pick him?
Because he's a yes man.
Because that's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
Trump owns him now.
Called it.
I own you.
I called that shit. So, what does he stand for, Gene? Because I know that he has a few interesting connections.
He stands for whatever you tell him to stand for. No.
Yes, man.
One of the biggest things, I know he is anti-women's rights.
How fun.
When I say rights, I mean reproductive rights.
Oh.
He is in the back pocket of Project 2025 and actively working to make sure that platform is in the Trump administration if he gets reelected.
Interesting. And he's not the only one connected to Project 2025, to my understanding.
No,
he's not. But again, something that Trump doesn't know about has also sprouted in front of us that is connected to Project 2025. A lot of his what are they called now, ex people in the
Ex-cabinet
office,
members.
ex-cabinet members
Yeah.
are part of Project 2025 currently.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yes. So, like, Ben Carson was Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He's actively working on Project 2025.
Okay.
Ken Cuccinelli was acting director of Homeland Security, I think, or something along those lines.
That's cool.
He's actively working on Project 2025.
That's uncool.
A guy, Han, worked in Trump's Office of Budget and Management, I think. I'm not really sure. Just look for yourself.
Yeah, find out everybody else because it's there. It's in
Yeah,
there.
he works on, and I say works on Project 2025. Look in the glossary, the table of contents, and look and see who authored that chapter, and you'll see all these people that I just named.
Oh, it's like what? I don't know how many pages it is, but I have it downloaded onto my
500,
tablet. I can read through it. It's like, yeah,
54,
there's
84,
500
something
plus.
like that. Yeah,
And there's names everywhere.
you know.
I mean, they want to close the Department of Education. They want to stop educating people.
Look it up for yourself. I mean, I can tell you, we're not the news. Look it up for yourself and see what they want to get rid of.
But it's definitely a big thing to educate yourself on, because remember, the presidential candidate now, is a part of it as well.
Yeah.
That is the one big deal. Now, I wanted to hop on the female reproductive organ part.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I saw something interesting online that I was looking through, and it's a part of an ethnic cleansing project, in a way, to where they want women's reproductive rights taken away. They want to deport all brown people possible because they believe in states' rights in those, right? And most states now are just going to be able to arrest you for just being brown on the street, much like Arizona. Also, with taking female reproductive rights away, there's going to be a point to where you would have to apply for contraception or condoms and such like that, whatever. And there might be a possibility at a point to where you might have to apply for it and you could be also denied it.
I just want to say that I think that anyone who thinks that The Handmaid's Tale is just dystopian and could never happen.
No, not at all. That's a real deal.
That's what Project 2025 is. And I don't know if you remember our good old buddy Trent Franks, who used to be our congressional representative here, who had to resign because he approached multiple women on his staff to pay them millions of dollars to be his surrogate, to carry his baby because his wife was incapable of conceiving. But, he wanted to do it the old-fashioned way, kind of like they did on The Handmaid's Tale. My wife can't conceive. You can, so guess what? I get to have sex with you whenever I feel like it, and you're going to have my babies.
Weird.
And he's running for re-election in this district now, so I'm just telling you that we are so much closer to it than you think.
That's really scary to think, Gene, because again, they're taking rights away and we don't have any button to say no until we start voting, and people need to start paying attention to that, which it is scary, man, especially when it comes to the future and how cult-like I've been seeing things lately. It's really funny how they can throw a Band-Aid on their ear. One, it looked like a pad first on their ear, right? And after he gets shot in the ear versus not wearing a mask to protect themselves. They're afraid of doing that.
Honestly, really I'm not trying to start any controversy, but he turns his head, right?
At the same time.
And you hear the shots, and he puts his hand up to his ear and takes it away. Show me a close-up. I've never seen blood in that hand. Not until he gets up with the Secret Service around him, and then there's blood on his face.
Yeah, I don't know. The one thing that gets me is there was a report, and TMZ can be very accurate. I would say 95% of the time. Right?
Yeah.
Of the information that they obtain. And they reported something about it was a glass shard that hit him rather than a bullet from a teleprompter.
Okay, let's just think about it, man. We're old enough.
We're back on it.
To remember
yeah.
when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear off.
Yeah.
Where was the blood?
Everywhere. I mean, I haven't watched the video.
I don't. I mean, it's just like when you get your ear pierced. Do you bleed?
No.
That's my point. It's gristle.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily going to bleed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know how that works necessarily. I wanted to do forensics, but not with the ear part. I haven't really thought about the ear. But overall, it's just like, I don't want to downplay it. That's the big picture.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not perfect. Leave your comments in the comment section.
We're not trying to downplay it, but it's more like he's riding the ship too hard. Yes, I know you're surviving president. You survived a shooting. I get it. And it's not like a congratulations either. I'm glad he's alive. Could you imagine if you actually shot him and hit him on TV? If he actually got shot,
I would hate for him to be a martyr.
That would.
You know, Joe Biden, no matter who ran, would never stand a chance because they'd be running against a martyr. He'd be dead, and it'd be J.D. Vance and whoever he picks for VP, and that's what we'd be running with.
Can you define a martyr real quick?
A martyr is someone who dies for the cause. You know, so say for example, you want to save the trees, right?
Yeah.
So you chain yourself to a tree. No, you're not going to cut it down, thinking your life is more important than the tree, and they cut that shit down and kill you in the process of cutting the tree down. You're a martyr for having given your life for the protection of that tree.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. No, I don't know. I think in a more general mindset, I guess, I think it would have been very traumatizing and bad for our country in a whole, rather than personally not thinking it would be him just dying as a martyr, but more or less that just opens the door for more people. It does open the door for more people now, honestly.
Yeah.
It does. In mindset, how humans work is you try to overcome your fear to do it, and then once you do it, you become less fearful because you've done it before. That's normally how it works in your brain. And now that somebody has seen that, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a person who has that kind of mind. Somebody would think, oh, well, if you would have done this, and this different, who is an expert, who is able to make that shot, may take the shot if we are lax again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just opens the door for the next human being to do it. We haven't had somebody try it in our lifetime.
Well, in my lifetime, I was 3 when Kennedy was assassinated.
I was wondering. I was like, well,
and then I remember when Squeaky from the Charles Manson gang tried to kill President Gerald Ford.
Okay.
And then I remember when Hinckley shot President Ronald Reagan. And now this one. And that's in my lifetime.
So, I mean, is it in the blueprint? Yes. But there was generations that have not even experienced this and or known about, what is it called, political violence, or even hear or saw it, and now we have all seen it and displayed it. So now there are those who are freshly thinking that for the first time.
So if you were born in the 1990s, this is the first time something like this has happened.
Exactly, me.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. It's the first time something like this has ever happened in my lifetime. So there are those who are experiencing this for the first time and are going to be digesting it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I'm just saying, it's a open door now because somebody decided to open it.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into our dumbass of the week.
It is, man. You want to go first?
Yes, I'll go first. Heat is not a thing to play with.
No.
Don't be dumb. There has already been 23 recorded heat deaths in 2024 here in Arizona alone. So please make sure you do not leave your loved ones in the car. There was a girl who literally went gambling with her 3-year-old in the car, I believe. And thank God the kid didn't die because people broke the windows and called 911 and whatever, and she got arrested. But there are actually people who believe it's okay to do that now. AC and all, man, take them inside with you. It's a responsibility as a parent. Just do it if you're going to take them to the store.
I remember being left in the car as a kid.
I do too, and it wasn't like a knock towards my parent. Is it safe? No, but AC was left on, yes. But even then, I wouldn't even play with that anymore. Just take them inside with you. Like, bottom line, because it happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, dumbasses of the week. Don't play with heat.
Yeah.
Sure.
So my dumbass of the week is the news media that are constantly writing President Biden about, is he going to get out of the race or is he going to stay in, when you never hear them addressing the lies that Cadet Bonespurs is telling, openly, like, no, the election wasn't stolen. No, migrants aren't coming in. They're not all the worst people,
Which, with JD, his mom was the one selling medication, to my understanding. He said in the video that the immigrants killed his mother.
Man.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But anyway, yeah, the media, come on. Let's pay attention to really what is at stake here, what we're dealing with as a country, what is important. And to me, someone that agrees with communist dictator Vladimir Putin, communist dictator Xi Jinping, communist dictator Kim Jong-un,
who he misses very much, I'm sure.
Right. It does not belong in the White House. So media, let's recognize what's at stake and act accordingly and, put it on a scale. What's really more important,
And also, people are knocking away the gun violence conversation as well still. Somebody who is reckless with a gun, who owned a gun, his father bought him one recently, and again, someone who isn't screened properly tries to take somebody's life. But now, no one's trying to defend that either.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my dumbass. Love to know your comments. Leave them in the comment section below. If you like the conversation, please hit subscribe and that like button.
Yes. Also, hit the notification bell to know whenever we go live in the future and whenever we post our videos, so you can then tune in to us when you're at work, driving in your car, whichever you need in the future. Say hello in the comments. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
And it's been Hanging with Uncle.
Remember, be kind to one another and treat each other the way you want to be